back to the Podsack Podcast. It's your boys, the Podsack crew. We're here to talk about anime gaming news.
Yes, welcome back, Sack Squad, to another episode of the Podsack Podcast. We got a kind of light day today.
There's no anime.
It was like we finished watching our Wind Waker and Fire Force animes, and we're kind of just like, what do we do now? So
Our lives are, we have nothing to do.
literally,
Yep, nothing
so
to do.
on the docket today, we'll do answers for Andre without Andre.
No Andre.
We're gonna talk about a little bit of gaming stuff. Square Enix is now pondering the turn-based games that they're making because of Clair Obscur. And Street Fighter is in full production, or they're getting close to production with their live action and their cast. And we're going to talk about a new anime that people are comparing to Solo Leveling called Lord of Mysteries.
Lord of Mystery.
Lord of Mystery.
Yes.
So
let's get into it. We'll start with answers for Andre.
Got a question, don't delay. It's answers for Andre.
Pat? No, I'm just kidding.
Me?
You don't have to read the question. So, Coop, you brought up this question.
Yes, I did.
This is what you thought of. You said, if you had to choose a verse to get your back in a fight against other verses, who would you choose? And these verses that we're going to state are the ones that you're defending against.
Yeah.
And
So we tried to keep this to non-world breaking levels of anime,
Yeah.
like Dragon Ball and Naruto and
Bleach. Yes.
and these absolutely world breaking animes. We are keeping it to the
City level destruction.
the city level destruction.
Yeah. So on the docket, we got Black Clover, Solo Leveling, Kaiju number 8, and JJK.
Yep.
JJK.
Mhm.
Those are your 4.
Sorcery fight.
JJK for Black Clover?
No.
Yeah, this is where I come in, and this is my first thing off rip. If you choose JJK, you're screwed because of Asta. He is the crux to Gojo because technically he is anti-magic.
Right, but there's a flaw in your logic. They don't use magic, dog. They use curse techniques.
Yeah, I was
That's
thinking about
different
that.
from magic.
I was thinking about that. Is it different from magic?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
'Cause
If we're classifying it as different, I was thinking magic
yeah.
is magic.
I know you were. I knew that's where your argument was going to be, but they're two
Well,
completely different things.
Technically, Jujutsu is sorcery.
Right,
So
but
it's
they use
cursed sorcery.
It's cursed energy.
It's
negative emotion.
Yeah, but it's
Which is
still
not magic.
See, I'm confused. Would that be classified as magic? I mean, regardless.
If you remember, there was like an episode in Black Clover where somebody was using curses instead of magic, and he couldn't cancel that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Fair. So, I mean, Julius is still... he's just insanely strong, but...
So who are you picking? Let's stick to
let's stick to first off.
No.
Who's got your back in
See,
this
this is
fight?
I'm trying to
easy
juggle
for
it.
me. Solo.
I know you were gonna choose Solo.
Solos. Okay.
If there's an isekai, he will always choose the isekai.
It's true.
Solo
Yeah.
isn't an isekai.
It's a reverse isekai.
It's not a reverse isekai.
It's a reverse.
It's not.
It's pretty much he just gets reborn into the same world with new powers.
Exactly.
What do you mean he gets
isekai.
reborn?
Well, we're pretty far into this anime now that we've been getting a lot of new stuff. I mean, if you can't read between the freaking lines in the anime, I'm sorry. It's been out for 3 months. You can
classify it as a power
out.
fantasy, but the genre style is really close to an isekai. The only difference is he's in his own world, not in another, unless he enters a portal.
Well, hold on. We know there is other worlds there too.
Yes, exactly. So it's a reverse isekai. I'm starting a new genre.
Reverse isekai.
Well, there's already a reverse isekai.
It's tough. I do want to say, okay, this is the thing. If I choose JJK, can I get Maharaga?
Yeah, the whole verse is at your disposal, dog.
Yeah. Okay. Then I
Like you got
think I'm choosing. I think I'm choosing JJK.
okay. Yeah, because you got Fushiguro with his like 9-8 shadow, 7 shadow technique,
Yeah.
10 shadow technique, or whatever it's called. You got Gojo with what the hell was his curse technique called? The infinite eyes,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Infinite void.
It's
Infinite void, but
yeah.
no, what the 6 eyes, right?
Yeah.
You got the 6 eyes. You got Sukuna.
Yeah. Sukuna.
Sukuna's just like out there,
Yeah. True.
right?
It's a tough choice because I do think Solo's strong, but
And Toji.
because my problem with Solo as well is the fact that we haven't been introduced really fully to like any
Don't go down this path because
world
then you're
building.
getting into Patrick
Yeah,
territory.
then
So
you're getting
stop.
into Patrick
We're sticking
territory.
just to the anime.
So just with anime and where they're at, who we know, yeah, I think I'm choosing JJK.
I'm taking Kaiju.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So who from Kaiju you think is like the domineering force in your?
Kaiju number 8.
Kaiju number 8 and
Okay.
9,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be the
Interesting.
dominating factor, and then
and
the
then,
girl.
and then the one that invaded the territory that was fighting the captain, the vice captain with the 2 knives.
Okay.
That Kaiju as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and the captains themselves and lieutenants.
Yeah. The captains
Literally.
and lieutenants.
They messing shit up, man.
True. You're
Yeah.
not wrong. Yeah, I would say
Plus the Kaiju have regenerative abilities.
they do.
Yeah.
With this argument, I feel like it's hard to say what is right because they're so on par with each
Like
other.
if you want versatility, I think JJK Black Clover definitely have that.
Yeah, that's where I'm sticking to
You know?
in my mind is like versatility in my team, and I feel like JJK just has more versatility in its verse. I mean, Julius is strong from Black Clover, but
then you got like a being like Maharaga who
who
adapts.
just literally adapts to everything. Like if you don't kill him immediately,
Yeah.
you're dead, right? Sukuna's absolutely insane, regardless of if he's just not even using curse techniques, just himself.
Uh-huh.
He is him,
Mhm.
right? And Gojo and
Timothy.
he is Himothy. And that's where I think they body everyone.
Only reason why I'm going with Solo, not since we're only basing on the anime, every time he kills someone, he gets stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So the more he kills each character in the verse, he can like
Yeah,
arise.
it's such a I mean, yeah.
Actually, I could change my in terms of like Black Clover magic that we've seen so far. Julius is overpowered as shit.
Julius
He
is
like
with his time
yeah,
magic.
he's got time magic.
overpowered as shit. Yami with his black the black magic, the dark magic he has, and being able to slash through reality is overpowered as shit.
reality
Sure.
and
Time, I
Yeah.
think, realistically. The dude from the Golden Dawn who can just make trees happen.
Yeah.
Like there's
There's strong cases for it. I feel like
and then we're not
Kaiju-
even taking into consideration the demons
yeah,
in the verse as
that
well.
too. And the
Mm.
elves.
Yeah.
Well, the strong elves anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Like
licked and
solo leveling, they use magic.
Yeah.
Asta would win against that.
Yeah,
Or not win, but he would give them a very tough fight.
yeah.
Very tough fight.
That's
Yeah.
where I'm thinking like where Solo could, I mean, yeah, if Jin Woo just went around and slaughtered every lower character in the verse and like but if we're talking about like just
Can you imagine if he killed like Julius?
Yeah.
Just a rose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
bro.
No.
You don't need anybody else. You need nothing else.
Yeah.
Just time decay everything.
Necromancy's stupid. Okay. It's such a stupid ability.
Yeah,
No,
'cause-
his version of necromancy is stupid.
It's true,
'Cause
it's true.
Other necromancy I've seen ain't like this.
True.
Yeah,
His
it's not
is like-
bringing back like their full power. You're
No,
bringing back
he
like
is bringing back like
No,
the
no,
full power,
yeah,
but growing them.
yeah,
on top of that.
other necromancy is just like
A body.
a body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't move that well.
Actually, I would think the equivalent that would be from like the DC universe with the Black Lantern rings. They can bring back dead heroes, so they're at full capacity. That would be, in my
But yeah.
opinion, an
Yeah,
equivalent.
I'm sorry, but if Toji's on my team, that's it. He gonna pull out the gat just like he did on that girl.
On
and
Gojo,
Just
just
pull out.
slice them upwards.
He's just gonna pull out a
Yeah.
gun and point it at each of their heads.
Because yeah, I think with the system, with the power of the system, Jinwoo he can just get unlimited potions every time he kills
Mhm.
someone. So that's
Strong
my
case for
reasoning.
each.
Yeah.
That's a good. I feel like we got that. We got a good question for answers
Yeah.
from Andre.
So
This
I'm gonna
week.
change my answer to Black Clover.
Yeah.
Just because I think there is a lot more versatility. In Kaiju, where the anime is at, like we've seen a little bit, but
We've
not
seen a
whole
little bit,
lot.
but
Yeah,
not a
it's
whole
only
lot.
one season compared to like 4
Right.
seasons of
Yeah.
like Black Clover,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
There's
so
been
you're
more
solo
time.
and you got
JJK.
JJK. Yeah, that's an interesting pick for sure.
I feel like there's arguments to either.
Yeah.
It's either arguments to either. But that is not where the episode ends. We have more to talk about. What are we hitting?
So Street Fighter live action
Yeah.
has got a kind of crazy cast going on right now.
Chun-Li was
Well, that's the only one he was interested in.
Yeah.
Yo, right away.
Yo.
So
yeah. Chun-Li.
Pat, you're right on this one. You're right on this one.
That's all that matters.
I'm resting my case.
Look at a picture.
Don't. I ain't gonna be able to finish this pod.
I was gonna have a bonus entire pod.
Man, this is gonna be but starting off we
Okay.
have
Okay, I got you.
go.
We have Andrew Koji. He's been in Bullet Train. That's the only movie I know him from.
Yeah, because we watched Bullet
Although
Train.
I feel like he might have been in Shogun.
I never watched it.
on Disney.
Who's Andrew Koji? Who is he?
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
no,
right now.
I just
Who's
don't
he
know what he
playing?
looks like.
Oh, he's playing Ryu.
Okay.
He's playing Ryu. Noah Centineo is gonna be Ken Masters. I don't even know who this guy is. I'm gonna get to like the big guys. Alan Richardson. So you might remember him from like Blue Mountain State. He plays Thad Castle. He's also the new Reacher as well.
Yeah.
He plays Reacher. He did Raphael in the TMNT movies.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Kalina Liang, I don't know who she is. She's playing Chun-Li. Oh, sorry. Alan Richardson is playing Guile.
Alan Richardson's playing Gaia.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he's playing
Gaia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Guile. Noah Centineo is playing Ken Masters. Kalina Liang is going to be playing Chun-Li.
Baddie.
Who is she?
I don't know, but I saw a picture and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Same here. Doesn't matter. She's hot.
Doesn't matter. I was like, yeah, this is insane.
Blanca, big green monster, is being played by Jason Momoa.
Oh, why Jason Momoa?
I don't know. It seems to make
Because
sense.
Jason Momoa needs to be in everything.
Yeah.
You guys know what Blanca looks like,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't look like Jason Momoa.
No, but I'm sure they'll CGI him or some
What
shit.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I love Blanca. He's one of my commanders in Magic.
Akuma is being played by Roman Reigns. Which
Okay,
is
that
kind
makes
of
sense.
weird. Well, he's got the size, but it's a little weird because Roman Reigns is a young guy and Akuma's kind of an older character. So unless makeup is going to do wonders for this dude, it's kind of an odd fit. And also like Akuma's Japanese. I thought they'd maybe try to stick to that kind of stuff, but yeah, okay, yeah, she's okay. Damn, I like
Damn,
Damn.
dude. Damn,
All right.
dude. Damn, dude. What the hell?
All right, chill. Stop gooning out, man. Back to Street Fighter. Balrog is being played by 50 Cent.
This is my favorite.
Which
This
is
my
I think is
favorite.
fine because Balrog doesn't really talk a lot. So I don't
No,
know.
he needs some.
I don't think they'll give him a whole. He's gonna be like box or die trying or some shit like that.
Yeah.
They couldn't get.
No disrespect to 50. I love 50. That
we
dude is
should have got
hilarious.
Mike Tyson
I
as
know.
Balrog. To
That
be
would have been
honest.
a better
Yeah.
choice, I think. Vega is being played by somebody named Orville Peck. Who I think is a white looking dude, but
I don't know. That just reminds me of Piek from Attack on Titan.
My goodness.
Sorry, okay?
yeah, like I don't know. Orville Peck is he's a pretty white looking dude unless he's got some sort of. Oh, he's from Johannesburg, South Africa, so he like super white.
Yeah.
He like super white.
He's like ultra white.
yeah, and he's playing Vega, who's a Spaniard.
Sick.
So yeah, interesting choice. And then we got the big one, in my opinion, was Andrew Schultz.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's got going on for him being in a Street Fighter movie.
Yeah.
But this dude's gonna have to gain at least 20 pounds of muscle mass on him.
No, he's not doing that.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Because the speculation is people think he's gonna be playing Dan Hibiki, who knows Muay Thai, but was also trained under Goken, which is Ryu and Ken's master for a little bit, and then he left and was like, "I'm gonna do my own thing," and just became a fanboy of Ryu and and Ken, and so he mixes his training from Goken style with his Muay Thai style, but is also kind of like a comedic force. He's the weakest person in all of Street Fighter history.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's kind of a joke fighter.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah.
a joke fighter.
So
but
I think I get why they casted Andrew Schultz, but Dan
Mhm.
Hibiki's also like half Japanese.
Yeah,
Andrew
being
Schultz-
played by
Andrew
a
Schultz.
Scottish man
Yeah.
is a wild
With a
thing.
Jewish last name.
Jewish last name.
Yeah.
whoa.
What?
Are we allowed to say that?
That part I don't think so.
What? What's wrong? What's wrong?
Anyways, this casting is crazy. They're like the most random picks of people, especially Andrew Schultz.
I don't know, but Kalina's pretty.
I'm in. I'm in just for her. I'm gonna go and watch it just to see what she looks like.
Now, the last time they did a Street Fighter movie, it was Jean-Claude Van Damme leading the charge, and Ming Na Wen as well. Jean-Claude Van Damme was Guile, who's
Yeah.
supposed to be an American, but we know this dude is like German or Austrian with the accent. And Ming Na Wen was like, damn, she looked good.
Damn, she looked good.
That change in
Yeah, she
tone
looked good,
is
dude.
crazy.
But she was fierce as hell in that movie as Chun-Li. It was dope.
Well,
and
that seems like a pretty decent
that
cast.
movie was very campy and like
Yeah, it
really was one of the worst takes in video game to movie like transition history. Next to other things, but I don't know how this is gonna look. It already seems crazy. I feel like this is definitely a non-serious movie.
No, it's
probably
not.
not.
It's definitely not. They're
Yeah.
not taking it serious because I mean, again, it's a video game.
When has
movie.
Capcom ever taken any of their
Yeah.
movies seriously?
Yeah, exactly.
Look at Resident Evil. Look at Monster Hunter. And then
Well,
the previous.
they gave it to Mila Jovovich's husband, who does all those movies,
Yeah, true,
you know what's
but
weird though? Like,
and he's very bad at them.
you know what? Yeah, what's really weird is nobody's found the Mastercraft video game movie.
mm,
In terms of live action, I would say no.
No,
But
there's
in
not
terms of
been
animated,
one.
I would say Mario,
animated
Sonic,
ones, yeah.
Detective Pikachu. have
No,
done a
no,
pretty good job.
no. Sorry. I meant live action is what I mean. Because like it's the live action
Well, actually, would you
adaptations.
call Sonic live action because they did have real people in it.
Yeah,
CG. It's CG. Not
but
really.
even that wasn't even like Sonic
It's
wasn't
based off
that
IRL,
great.
so
Sonic
like,
does numbers
IRL.
because of
Because
namesake.
how would you do a
but-
live action Sonic the Hedgehog and make it look realistic without creeping people out?
No,
They tried,
And,
like,
and the internet
and then they
freaked
had
out.
to like change
And
the
they bullied
face.
them.
Yeah,
They
I feel
bullied
like
them.
I feel like just the industry looks at these video game movies and says, okay, what do we want from this? Is this a highbrow movie? No. This
Mhm.
isn't a highbrow movie. This is going to be more of a campy movie, more of a fun movie. It's a video game where I just
But
Well, the thing is,
you're building it. You're clearly making it for the fans of the video game.
Exactly.
Which means it's gotta look good too.
yeah, it does.
Can't be bad.
no, it'll
And the
look
story's
good.
got to be at least decent because they okay, you know what? Actually, the way I think about this, when you think about video game stories, especially in terms of like Street
Mhm.
Fighter, there's not a strong story, but fans will be like, yeah, this is a
Mhm.
good story.
Like,
So you kind of have to translate it to the fans that this will end up being a good story.
Mm.
like,
And I think they do have trouble with that.
like, even though Resident Evil the movie was bad, it still did really good numbers.
Yeah,
'Cause
no. They'll always,
It was
The first couple did.
the first.
Yeah.
It was
'Cause then they
like
started-
I'm not even
this is
fighting
as
that.
good of game representation we're gonna get.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not
in
fighting. I'm not
movies.
fighting the numbers.
But Sonic, the series is based off like
Did you guys watch the Uncharted?
Yep.
The Uncharted movie?
Yes.
Like, it was okay.
It was okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
and this is what I mean. Like, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is there has not been a home run live action film yet they just haven't found it. And I don't even think that this is going to be it. It's got to be something more campy, more light. But it's just I want to see something more than that for video game movies. I would like to see an actual like good take on a video game movie because I feel like all these campy takes and all these campy movies don't really amount to much. Especially when it comes to like bringing in an audience. Like if you're going to garner attention from people who maybe know the name, but if you really want to get a smash hit, you got to make a good movie.
True. I feel like there's some video games that have the potential to do that.
They do.
Yeah,
you know?
they do.
Like
There's
Cyberpunk would be one that I think they could 100% do.
150%.
Destiny could realistically.
Destiny 100%.
Yeah.
With their
Des-
animation style,
Yeah.
like even if you didn't do it like again, another animated one, even if you did live action, no,
closer.
you could do
Why?
live action.
we can
and-
come closer.
And it
What the heck? I think some Square Enix ones would be really good. Final
Yeah.
Fantasy
Yep.
would be great.
Chrono Trigger.
No,
there's a lot of
Square Enix in
potential,
general.
but the problem is
Like Tomb Raider was a decent.
there really has to be
decent movies.
a good there has to be a fan has to make it. You have to have the director has to be a fan of the franchise to
And not
understand
Ari
it.
Shankar from goddamn Devil May Cry, who thinks he's God's gift to the industry. Eat a bag of dicks, dude. You're not.
Jeez, dude,
Michael B.
shelves
Jordan
crash
wanted
out
to
this
do
episode,
one of
my
the
goodness.
games recently, right? Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
He
he's been
wanted-
talking about
Oh, I forgot which.
I can't remember which game, but he's talking. He's in talks. He said he would take up the role. I can't remember which movie, but I remember reading the headline. Like
It was either a
what you
movie or it was either a game or an anime. I don't remember which.
I think it
one.
was. Yeah, it was a game or an anime. I can't remember, but regardless of that, I just don't see. Back to what we were talking about. I just don't see this movie doing blockbuster numbers. I don't think it's going to be like one of those.
No, I don't.
He said he'd like to find an anime to do.
Yeah,
Something
there you
like
go.
Fire Force or Fate Stay Night.
Yeah. He was talking about.
That's what he mentioned. It was an anime.
But yeah, I don't trust Capcom with movies.
Yeah, very true.
They're just like fan service. Throw it in there, make it
Exactly.
make money.
What else do we
That's
have on
all
the
we
dock?
need, man. Hey, man, don't tell me what the fuck to do.
What else we got?
Like, what the fuck?
I want to know.
Chill out,
I'm
bro.
interested.
I got this. Oh my god, I got the whole
He wants to
thing,
move on
Do it.
because he wants to leave by noon.
True. I'm trying to get out of here.
It's 11:29. We still have 30 fucking
He's like
minutes.
sweating bullets. He's like, oh my god, please move along. Okay. So Square Enix, they're I saw a little news clipping of Square Enix now kind of they are aware of the success of Clair Obscur and they're kind of pondering their thoughts about turn-based games in their future after their statement from like a few years ago saying turn-based games are not what the Western audience wants to see. And that hence they start doing more actiony style. So-
I've thought a lot about this. This
It's been keeping him up at night.
Is this
His
why you've been going to
entire-
bed and sending me snaps at like 2 or 3 in the morning?
He's
Being like, come here, daddy.
Yeah.
Like-
this Square Enix is still making turn-based games.
yeah, they are.
The reason being
Octopath, Bravely Default.
we've been talking a lot more about Square Enix not making is because Final Fantasy used to be turn-based.
Yes.
And so with the new Final Fantasies, they've kind of steered away from
They have.
turn-based for
they-
a long while now.
Well,
so.
that and they really haven't been innovating their
Yeah.
turn-based. They've kept it the same. But to be fair with that, Persona hasn't really changed their turn-based combat style.
Yeah, not a
It's
lot.
been
It's
the
just
same.
a very different UI, which
Different UI, different kind of storytelling.
Mhm.
You know, for some reason, adults and kids seem to be wanting to be stuck as teenagers all their life, so they drift towards Persona. I don't know. I want the flame. I want.
What
the
are you
flame.
on
I
about?
don't
Where
know.
are we going, dude?
Legit, turn-based.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making.
I
fun.
know.
So
You really just want to get out. You're like not in it today.
No, I mean the thing about Square Enix and turn-based games is it's never been my genre, right? I've talked
yeah,
about this multiple
I
times.
play
Like,
a lot of JRPGs, and it is. I love turn-based games.
No,
It
it's
may
fair.
not be your genre, but this is like this is kind of
Well,
like an
with
education
with the
piece.
biggest hit of the year, Clair
being
Obscur.
turn-based,
Yeah,
which is
fair.
obscure.
Yeah.
You know, I think.
Oh,
it's,
I'm not head in the sand. Like I know the game's potential, and I've seen it. It
Mm.
looks great.
Yeah.
Right. I think turning away from turn-based games isn't necessarily a smart move because,
mind
like,
you, this is like one of the biggest video game creators in Japan
yeah, Square Enix
and
of
part of
course.
the world. And they've been known primarily for the JRPG.
Oh,
Mhm.
for
There's
sure.
For them to turn away from it is kind of crazy. for one. Well, to them it made sense, but to the rest of the world they were like, why, right? But then when you compare it to things like Persona and with Claire, which is now out
Yes.
for a while now,
Mm.
it's like, well, there is success. You still can have success. So
Yeah.
why did you turn away?
Yeah, Square Enix just doesn't make Final Fantasy turn-based anymore because they have other titles that have turn-based aspects to it.
My opinion, and I know Coop, you'll be silent for a lot of this one because again, you don't know the franchises that well, which is fair.
Not,
Which is fair.
It's not my wheelhouse.
Is I don't think turn-based was the problem for Square Enix.
Mm.
I don't think for me their turn-based was fine. They could have evolved it, sure, to make it
They
more
could have, but it's
engaging.
hard to evolve something.
They started going more for about the aesthetic and the flash of the characters rather than the story and what kind of narrative they're giving their characters. And I really think that started after Final Fantasy X.
10, 12.
Because 10 was kind of like, it was still a good story. We still cared about the characters, but then we got into 12. 12 kind of took a step back away from the characters and gave you more instead of...
Hot take. I'm sorry, but Final Fantasy 12 is my favorite one.
Hey.
Even though it's not turn-based, Final Fantasy 12 is my favorite Final Fantasy.
Absolutely. But I feel like with Final Fantasy 12, it stepped away from the character narrative and became more about the world narrative.
Have you tried any of the new Final Fantasies?
Yeah, I started Final Fantasy 15.
15, the boy band one.
Yeah, the boy
one.
band one. I started it. I just didn't. What happened was I got derailed by other games. I do plan on getting back into it. Like I own it. I will play it. I do want to go back and play the Final Fantasy franchise
I
because
feel like that'd be a good entry for a new person to dive into Final
Even
Fantasy.
That's what
16
everyone
would be a good one
People
too.
said 15 and 16 were good ones, and I
Yeah.
was like, I picked up 15 a while ago, and I was like, you know what? When I do get the chance, I will. I'm gonna pop that on because like now that I'm actually not playing stuck on Destiny all the time, I've been absolutely obliterating through games.
Yeah.
That's
Like
fair.
I've completed like 10 games just this year. So I'm just like steamrolling through games. So I will eventually catch up and I will get to that point where I want to play like the Final Fantasy franchise and give it a shot and just kind of see where it takes me and kind of get more into JRPGs because I would like to try them out. It's just I never played them when I was young. The first one that I ever tried was Dragon Quest
Oh, interesting.
on the PS2.
Oh, wow.
Way
Okay.
back, way back, and that was the first first inception of it. And I just didn't understand it because I think there was just too much going on, and I was too young at the time to really understand what was happening in the game. So I just didn't get to it. And then after that, I just played other games.
Okay.
So I just never. I played more action RPG,
And that's
open
completely
world
fair.
stuff.
That's what you grew up with.
That's what
Yeah.
you like.
It's what I grew up with. It's what I kind of catered towards. I do play a lot of like first person shooters, third person shooters, action, open world, anything like that. But turn based, just other than Pokemon, I just never really played it.
But back, okay, cool. Fair opinion. Back to the Square Enix thing though. I think they will start looking at it better.
I don't think Final Fantasy will ever go back to turn-based.
I don't know, man. I don't know because
I don't think so.
Because when you think about it with Final Fantasy VII, people were wanting a 1-to-1 remake. They weren't really wanting this whole action-based thing that they put out. Now, mind you, the sales for the remake were very strong. It was like 4 or 5 million sales, something like that. And so it was because of hype. They were like, let's get back into the world of Final Fantasy VII. We go to Rebirth. They only did 2 to 3 million in sales. That was not a success for them.
True.
It was not a success because people were like, this is still different.
A sequel always will do worse.
Well, it's not technically a sequel. It's not because
Is
it's
it?
no, it's not.
Oh, okay, my bad.
What they're doing with Final Fantasy VII, like
The remakes.
It was remake and then rebirth. I know that.
so. Yeah, okay. I'll tell you how this is. So Final Fantasy VII on PS1 was 3 discs in one. So it's technically a full game, but the limitations of capacity size were a thing.
Yeah, so
it's one. It is one whole game. It's just in 3 discs.
Yeah.
So what they're doing with this right now with the remakes is
They're releasing them parts.
they have to release them in parts.
Yeah.
If they were to make this whole game from scratch, beginning to end, it wouldn't be out right now. They'd still be working on it.
Yeah.
They'd still be working.
And it
So,
would probably be like 600 gigabytes.
oh yeah, huge.
Yeah,
Huge.
I don't
So
deny
what
that.
they're doing now, and they did change things from remake to rebirth.
Yeah.
In
Yes.
terms of combat and UI.
I
We
heard.
think it's like
Is it better combat? Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
100%. But there's things that are still weird and like unfinished about it.
Okay.
Or in my opinion anyway. I feel like a lot of other people feel that way.
Yeah.
But there's even like menu items for like weapon upgrades and stuff that don't make sense. It's like, why is this here, but we can't utilize this function? Yeah.
the reason being, I think Final Fantasy won't ever go back to turn-based is because they're stuck in a box.
And it's all Tetsuya Nomura's fault. I keep saying this. I keep
It's-
saying
they're
this, and I'll say this till he
They're stuck
either
in a
dies
box.
or I die or till he leaves.
If they keep the Final Fantasy name, they're just gonna go back to old habits because old habits die hard. They're not gonna try to improve design. They're not gonna improve quality of life. They're not gonna.
I don't know about that, man, because the Godfather of Final Fantasy, literally the man who like brought this to life, Hironobu Sakaguchi, after he left, they started going downhill.
That's why I don't think they're gonna go back to turn-based.
But he was the father of turn-based.
Yes,
The minute they started stepping away from
Yeah,
that
that's-
and him leaving, it went downhill.
that's why start a new IP that has Final Fantasy in mind, but you're not limited
But then
by.
Final Fantasy 17.
But then it's not Final Fantasy. You can't start a new IP with Final Fantasy like inspiration.
Yeah, that's
or like,
why
or
I don't
you're taking
think.
Final Fantasy stuff that makes Final Fantasy and be like, this is this now. But when people are like, well, this
Well,
is
isn't each Final Fantasy like kind of different
they
from
are
they're
different,
all
but
They
there's
are
usually kind of like a centralized theme,
Yes.
or like a figure from Final Fantasy.
yeah,
in
that
there.
carries through.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, that's where you would draw your
Yeah.
absolutely new creative
'Cause-
idea.
That's the reason why I
Mm.
don't think Final Fantasy will ever go back to turn-based. It's
Mm.
just they have to move forward to leave Final Fantasy behind to go back to turn-based roots.
I don't think they do. I think if they do go
You
back,
want Claire Obscure in
well,
Final
they
Fantasy,
could
right?
they could do that.
Is that that's where you would
I think if they adopted something similar to that,
Yeah.
not exactly, because then you're just playing a Claire Obscure game at that point.
Mm.
They would need to make it their own again.
Yeah, that's why it'll be a new IP. I
And
don't think it'll be Final Fantasy.
they could still call it Final Fantasy if they go back to how their storytelling used to be, which is engaging in like the individuals and seeing them grow along with their side characters and progressing the story and having depth to it.
But they could do that storytelling in other IPs.
Good. Could start new
So-
IPs. Could go, like I said, Final Fantasy 17. Brand new story. I
Mhm.
mean, built around like whatever you want, right? Like, I mean, still in the same world.
They could just stop
Give it-
making Final Fantasy
or just
completely,
stop
could.
making
Yeah.
and
Final
then just
Fantasy.
make a new IP. Just
I think it's tough. I think it's tough to carry on a franchise this long as well, because like the longer you get into this franchise,
the more hate you're gonna get.
the more hate you're gonna get, right? Like you're gonna
It's
you're
like-
gonna
it's
you're
not-
gonna either
but it's not
they
what-
can't leave it behind. That's
either
like,
you're gonna
that's like
cater.
Nintendo saying Mario is going to be left behind.
No, but Mario has always kept to its roots.
True.
Mario's always been a platformer. It's never been a
True.
first person shooter.
But what made Square was Final Fantasy. Their whole brand
Fair.
is Final Fantasy.
Fair,
Whole
but
brand. They could have done it with Kingdom Hearts, but then Tetsuya Nomura screwed up Kingdom Hearts.
yeah, I
Literally. Right? You're not. Am I wrong?
I'm not saying anything.
yeah, it's
He wants to be Tetsuya Nomura so bad.
No, I don't. But like, yeah, I don't think Final Fantasy will go back to turn-based.
fair.
To be sad.
Yeah.
Fair.
Be sad. So, anime. We started watching
Lord,
Lord
of Mystery.
of Mysteries.
LOM.
Ah,
well,
The only reason why I suggested this to Cooper was because people out here were glazing this shit, comparing it to solo leveling in terms of like the amount of frames that were being used in a whole season compared to one episode.
Yeah, I mean I'm not gonna take anything away from this anime because it looks great,
It does.
but
the quality's great.
Man, there's an elephant in the room. There's a big elephant in the room with English speakers. And it's just the way that I think, for me at least, the translations for some things felt off. And maybe that's just how they're supposed to be translated in this way, but they just seemed weird.
Do we
So-
know if it's gonna get an English dub?
I have no idea. I can look it up.
Yeah.
But
I'll
so the
go
thing
ahead.
with Lord of Mysteries is this is a Chinese anime based off a Donghua.
Manhwa. A dongwa is the anim.
Oh, the Donghua is the animation term? Okay, my
Animation
apologies.
term,
My apologies. Based off of manhwa. It's convoluted as shit. I don't know really what's going on. It's a little hard to follow. Like, I'm intrigued, but I don't understand what things are happening. Now, the dialogue for this anime is kind of, I would say, significantly
No English
elevated.
No
English
No English dub.
No, okay.
No plans for one, at least.
Okay. It's like significantly elevated at a very intellectual level because they were using words and sentences
Words.
and structure.
English people would never.
And yeah,
use-
right? There was a moment where I had
Even
to pause.
informal English, like, it's not even formal English. It's like it's almost, it feels constructed.
scientific.
Academic.
Yeah. It's like
Very
an academic
academic.
paper
Yes.
is being written. It's
Now,
not like normal
'Cause
English
we
dialogue.
stopped at a spot where they were like, what did they say? They were like,
The law is enforced by proclamation
and material.
Embodiment.
Embodiment.
and I was like, pause. What the fuck is promulgation mean?
Proclamation.
Proclamation mean? Because I've never seen that word before. So we had to look this shit up. And
It's true.
literally, it's the definition of making a law and announcing it in this world to make it a reality.
Yeah.
So material
Embodiment.
embodiment.
It's the sentence is redundant.
So that sentence was describing what that word meant within its sentence that was using the word.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was pretty much Toon Force, was it not?
No,
It was meta as hell. It was
It
meta.
was meta.
You
It
know?
was- that's the thing, like, with this show, the way that you said it perfectly. The way they dialogue is weird. The way this story is written is weird. And for me, like, I've said this on the pod before, you guys really like To Be Hero. I personally don't. I think the storytelling, this is much crazier, but I can see it in the same realm where I'm just not interested. I understand the story, but I'm not interested by it. There's nothing that I see there.
Well, you're slightly interested in it. You just don't like the storytelling.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't like the
Like,
storytelling. Like there's
you said-
intrigue in how the world is working.
You like the world building. You just don't like the story building.
Yeah, I don't like the
Yeah.
story and how it's really written. Like I said, it just feels off to
Yeah.
me in some way.
Cooper is how dongwas are written. There's a lot of information dumps.
Yeah, so okay. Like the storytelling is 100% different, but after we kind of look some things up, like in terms of, because this is in Mandarin or Cantonese, no, it's in Mandarin.
Yeah, it wasn't.
There's a lot of like philosophical and like spirituality
Mm-hmm.
in their words compared to how we perceive them in how we speak in the Western world.
Yeah.
Like when they were talking, like they talk about a lot of like laws in this anime, and when we think about laws, it's like the things that govern people, you know, like actual enforced laws
Mm-hmm.
you get punished for. In their storytelling, it's more about like spirituality, the laws of the universe, the laws of spirituality,
Yeah,
Mhm.
because
things like that. Like I would think their storytelling is more of like historical literature that they've got going on, Confucianism, Taoism, that's all in there. Like
The tarot cards.
yes,
Tarot cards play a big part in this, of course.
it is a slow burn.
Oh yeah. No, I wouldn't even say it's
Would that be
I would say
correct?
there's just a lot of info dump.
Yeah, so it's a slow burn.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to put it. And then, because it is by the second episode, it was kind of picking up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, some of the
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
want to talk about that second episode, the fight.
Yes.
The small fight that we got, it was very small, but it was very well done.
Yes.
It was cool. There was
Mhm.
There's cool, interesting animations throughout. I the animation style is interesting, unique. It's kind of weird in a sense.
Mhm.
It's got this weird aesthetic to it, but it's cool. I don't think the animation here dropped ever. Maybe on a couple frames, a couple scenes here and there, but man, was it a steady ride? Like it never dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah. After watching like To Be Hero on this, like there, I had to look this up. I just had to look this up. So they do long form character arcs, which
Yeah.
I think is why you don't like it,
Yeah.
right? And then they do a massive world building as
Yeah.
well. And
Like massive world building and Dongwas are really like Dongwas manwas really good.
yeah, I've
Um,
noticed this with To Be Hero. They do a really good job. Um, yeah,
their long-winded arcs does tend to burn, just
see,
bore
it's
you.
hard to explain because we're not used
It
to
bores you. Like there's
okay, so from what I found is they do often like serious, poetic, melodramatic, and philosophical undertones, right? Now you compare this to what Japan does.
Mhm.
They focus on like they have a far broader range of things. They do like action comedy, existentialism, surrealism. They focus on character emotions, internal struggles, and coming of age stories. Because even when they do fantastical stories, it comes back to like personal dilemmas, right?
Yeah.
Identity or like loss. And
I think-
with their pacing, let me
Yeah,
just
go,
go,
go.
and then you can fill in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Narrative pacing, they're structured more traditionally. Like climaxes are paced tightly around episode milestones. Villains are often philosophically complex and not just evil for evil's sake.
Mhm.
Now, when you compare that to westerns, like Western America animation, there's emphasis on like individualism, self-discovery, and breaking free of societal norms. There's usually like a hero journey or redemption arcs.
Mhm.
Like there's a clear indicator of good versus evil, and they do a lot of humor in action.
Yeah.
So I think it's really what we've grown up with. We're used to these kind of stories. And so
Very
when we
true.
watch something that's completely different, like how Chinese animation is,
Mhm.
we're not used to that.
Mhm.
Because in the
Yeah.
first episode, again, very confusing.
Yeah.
Not sure what the hell is going on. Nothing's being explained, which again, you don't need to. I feel like you don't need to be spoon fed everything right away, which is completely fine. Because in the second episode, there seems to be some clarity coming along now.
Yeah, there's more you're getting into the story a little bit deeper.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and like, so I can understand why we don't like this at first, especially why
Yeah.
you don't like it.
Yeah, personally, it's just that storytelling. I like the I also, for whatever reason, I didn't really like the character progression, and I don't think I like the character progression here either. There really hasn't been much. Obviously, it's only been 2 episodes. You can't really judge like by 2 episodes, but just from what I've seen, like in these first 2 episodes, it doesn't. These characters are kind of dry to me.
Mhm.
They
Well,
just
I
feel
think that's
drier.
So I think that's where
the reason why the long-winded
Yeah.
character progression is.
yeah.
Because there's one Dongwa that I'm watching, Soul Land. There's one arc, 40 episodes. Training arc.
Oh, so they copied One Piece.
Yeah, this
Hey,
is
Training arc. It's not just one character, it's the entire team. You get to watch them progress slowly. And it burned me. So all I did was like skip. I'm like,
Sometimes you gotta
I
do
don't
that.
need to watch them holding hands to climb up a fucking mountain.
I did have to do that through Bleach. Me and Jane did have to do that through the Huey Komodo arc because there's just
I don't need to watch that. So I just skipped the fucking training arc and went to where it picks up. So like the long-winded like character development, it does get boring. It just burns your soul.
I
It
just don't like. Yeah, for me personally, I don't think the like any dongwa is gonna actually get my attention.
Mm-hmm.
Just because from what I've seen so far, yeah, I think it's just something that just
Yeah.
doesn't click with me. Where like, let's put it up against like Japanese titles, right?
Mhm.
Like obviously that's the right there the comparison. I like the storytelling in in anime, in like Japanese anime, because it just has this cadence to it that keeps
Mhm.
going and keeping me interested enough that I can follow along with this story
Yeah.
slowly.
I'll chime in here. But in Japanese storytelling, in each episode, you'll always have a beginning, climax, and end.
Yes.
And then where you can
Yeah.
expect it.
It follows.
In Dongwas, unfortunately, it's a multi-episode.
Yes.
It is a
And then the end.
Yes.
No.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I shouldn't make
The
assumptions like that.
arcs-
But right now,
No, that's what it is.
watching Lord of Mysteries. It's just the beginning.
The arcs-
When do we get to the climax, man?
The arcs, they don't do it episode by
There are no
episode.
arcs. It's just an arc.
It's not by episode by episode. The entire storytelling is the beginning, and then you'll in the middle of the arc. That's when you'll get the climax at the peak, and then the ending.
The first episode.
So that's how they do it in Dongwa style. Where
I want everyone to go out, watch the first 18 minutes, pause at 18 minutes, because that's what we did. That's where the
16
proclamation
it was at 16
was. It
minutes.
16? Okay,
16,
16.
yeah.
16 minutes.
16 or 18 is one of them.
So I want you guys to pause at that point and think to yourself, is this AI? Because I was fooled. I thought it was.
There was a lot of like things that felt
It
like this was AI style animation, but I looked it up. They said it wasn't. I don't know if it's true or not, to be honest with you.
It's you want to know what it is?
The visuals are crazy.
The visuals are crazy.
They are like, I don't know who's got the imagination for this. A lot of the stuff they did was really out of this
It
world.
was
me.
almost psychedelic.
Yes.
Dongwa's really good animation.
Very good animation.
Like,
very good.
They have like unlimited money because it's Tencent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Tencent makes most of the Dongwas.
Yeah, I'm
Makes
gonna
sense.
get. I want to give this maybe like another episode or two and really formulate my thoughts on it.
You're gonna need more than that to finish one arc,
No,
which
no,
is
no,
gonna
no,
be
no, no,
y-
no, no, I
2
think
more
that's-
episodes. You won't be even halfway through the arc.
No, I
And
won't
there
even
won't be a fucking peak.
No,
there won't be a climax. You'll be
Yeah, the
stuck
climax
with
is
more
in the
questions.
fourth season.
Look at
okay?
To Be
Fourth
Hero. The
season.
3 episodes. That's the fucking arc.
Yeah.
Okay,
True.
that's the fucking arc.
Well, okay.
And that's the character progression you're gonna fucking see.
So hold on. The way I know you got your thing with To Be Hero, and maybe they are following this, but the way I am seeing To Be Hero right now is how the Avengers started. Like they gave us Nice. Okay, they told us about Nice. We got Iron Man, couple movies in, and then they started connecting things. We got Isol, we got like Captain America, we're getting Lucky Cyan, we got freaking Thor, and then all these other characters started portraying. I feel like what To Be Hero right now is doing is they're showing the individual heroes to become the Avengers.
Sure. I'm not going.
They're just
against
going
that.
about it in their format, which is a very long-winded format.
a
yeah, it's a
long-winded
very
format.
long-winded.
Yeah.
That's where it loses me, because I want to see. I need to see something like, what am I going towards? What is the end goal? Where are we?
See, for me, it gave in my opinion, it gave more depth to the characters, because now we really kind of understand who they are, like where they started, where they went to. And it was for me, it was a nice journey, because like with Nice, you get this dude who's like in love with this girl, wants everybody to be a hero, and then he did become a hero. These are all spoilers. I don't care if you've watched it or not. And then he got into the hype of, I am a hero now. This is all about me.
Like the first 3 episodes.
I am Nice. I finally became what I wanted to be. And by the end of it, he was like, I don't want to be nice. I want to be my own hero, just like how
I want to be mean.
in the beginning, where anybody can be a freaking hero.
You're a dumbass.
You know, that's what it became. So he went through a bit of a journey, which was, in my opinion, appreciated, because we saw how we got from point A to point B.
Yes.
There was depth to it.
Yes.
And now, Nice's story is, this is like,
I think there's a lot of depth for the
entry to
characters.
beginner level storytelling for people that want to get into.
Oh
this.
yeah, no. Let's
Then
not
you get
say
into like Isol, Lucky Cyan.
This doesn't have like To Be Hero doesn't have like the deep lore that this show is bringing us into, because this show is like
there's lore.
No, there's lore.
There's deep lore. We just haven't got there yet.
Brother, we were talking about the 22 proclamations, okay? We were in depth with this entire godlike structure, the different power scaling, and all this in 2 episodes. 2 episodes. I've now learned it's Elden Ring's story in 2 episodes, brother. It was crazy. To Be Hero X.
Do you talking about for Lord of Mysteries or
yes,
To Be Hero?
Yeah, no, for Lord of Mysteries.
Oh,
For
okay.
To Be Hero, you have questions. There's small things, and it's pretty. The story is pretty.
I'll be
linear.
honest. When I watched Lord of Flies, I started questioning the universe.
Lord of Flies? You mean Lord of Mysteries?
Yeah, I started questioning the universe, dude. I was like,
That's
Yeah.
the point. That's the point.
No,
You got
that's
it.
what I mean. Like this is so deep in the lore, and they have so many characters. Like the characters do have depth too. Like there's interest, there's intrigue with these characters and where the story's going. Something about it, man. It just doesn't grab me, and it loses me. And it was the same thing with To Be Hero. It just lost me somewhere along the way. I really did give it a shot. I almost watched the entire first season. I dropped it at like episode 9 or 10.
The last episode, by the way, had like literally a 10-minute fight.
Yeah, I know.
Like 10 minutes of solid fighting.
I came here and watched it with you.
No. The latest episode.
Oh, the latest episode.
last
Yeah,
episode.
sorry.
Because the new
I didn't watch
episode
it.
is out now. But the last episode, literally a 10-minute fight between 2 characters.
I don't doubt it. It would be super
It
cool.
was insane.
But again, not my style.
Fair. Anyways, Lord of Mysteries. I don't know how I feel about it. I am intrigued to where the story is going.
What do you rate it? The first 2 episodes.
Oh man.
Let's give surface level thoughts. What do you rate it? First 2 episodes?
I haven't watched the episode 1 fully.
Yeah, you didn't
episode
watch.
2.
Because you came here halfway through episode 1.
First episode for me was like a 6. I didn't know what was going on. But by second
I need
episode,
to watch it, and then I'll probably
7.5. So both together right now, like a solid 7, because the animation is wild,
First episode.
absolutely crazy, confused as all hell. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, where is this going? So
Yep,
it's
yep,
got
yep,
me.
yep, yep,
For
yep.
me, it's got me engaged.
Yep.
Right? I'm curious to see where this is going. I don't know if I like how they're telling the story though. Like with what now that we understand what their story structure is like, I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of this, but I want to give this a chance and see where it goes.
Yeah, fair enough.
But then again, if we're looking at the To Be Hero formula and it follows that structure, I love To Be Hero.
I know. And this is where I think there was a lot of lore spewing right in your face during the first 2 episodes. And I said this before, or like before we started the pod, but I think you will like this. I think this is a something just from me knowing you for the amount of years I've known you and what you've watched. I think this is right up your alley. And I think it's just the fact that the first 2 episodes were so lore heavy. Now that you said it, now that we're in the second episode, the story was starting to make sense.
Yeah.
We kind
I
of
wouldn't say makes sense. I think it just gave us a little bit more to question, and so that's what got me intrigued.
Well, we know
and
where we're
for
going.
me, it still doesn't really make sense. Like they just recruited a guy and was like, "Welcome to the goddamn Justice League or the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen."
Beyonders,
and
please,
we're here.
Please, Beyonders.
Beyonders, yes, that's what they're called in there.
Yep.
Like people with the ability of gods, basically. It was
An experience.
Yes.
What do you give it, Pat?
I would give it an 8
Okay.
for episode 2. I haven't watched episode 1, so I'll
Right.
watch it.
But you're also kind of used to this style.
I'm used
into
to
it.
it.
He's into
So,
it.
and you've been enjoying it, sort
And-
of.
I'll be on the other end of the table. I'm giving the first episode a 5, second episode a 6.
Okay. Makes sense.
I would give it second episode a 6 because I really liked what they did with the animation style in the fight.
Right.
Even though it was weird, I was kind of into it.
Mm-hmm.
The story started to make a lot more sense to me. Not maybe sense, but like I was actually able to understand what was really going on. Because
Right.
the first episode, like you said, it's a psychedelic mess.
Yes.
Right? Like you
I felt like I was on shrooms without being on shrooms.
yeah. Really, that's how the story is. Just you're here, then there, then there, then there, then there. This person, and who's this person, and where are we? And you're just questioning all these things. And then the second episode kind of panned out, and you're kind of seeing where things are going a little bit. You kind of have like a light understanding of what's happening. Third and fourth, I'm thinking that's where you're gonna kick in. And I think that's where
I don't know. We'll see.
You're gonna be like,
I think you're thinking it from a Japanese storytelling perspective. But with what Pat's saying, I feel like by the time we get hit episode 20, I still won't know what the hell's going on or like following what's happening.
No, those are usually the later arcs. The first arcs usually get you try to capture you in. Third or fourth.
Okay,
episode.
so maybe by like the 10th episode, I'll have a more clear sign of how I feel about this.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Like it will go from there. But that's pretty much it. Like we said, this is
a short episode.
This was
man.
a light week.
We're sorry.
A light week.
But next week
there are movies and stuff that have dropped 28 weeks later.
Yeah.
How to Train Your Dragon live action.
Yep.
July's coming up with some heavy hitters. Superman. James Gunn's Superman is going to be hitting July 11th.
Yep.
Premiering July 10th, which I will be buying us tickets for. We are going to go watch this.
Which one?
Superman.
Superman? Okay, sick.
Yeah, I will be buying the tickets for this.
Okay.
Like for all of us, we're going.
Hey,
we're going. Yeah.
Let's get it.
And then Fantastic Four is also coming out near the end of July. So these two are going like head to head. And the secret underdog of July, Jurassic Park, which a lot of people think between the two, Jurassic Park may overtake Superman and Fantastic Four.
You see, I just rewatched, or actually, no, I didn't rewatch. I just watched Jurassic Park Dominion, the last one. It was so bad.
Now,
so bad.
And this is why I'm curious about this Jurassic Park, because Andre's super excited about it because he's been looking into it, and he's saying, well, yes. However, he's saying that they're going back to their horror routes.
That's what we heard.
So that's why I'm intrigued by it, because they're going up against two big franchises from Marvel and DC. First Family, one of their best heroes.
Yep.
And then you have Jurassic Park.
And we also have Demon Slayer coming out in September.
I thought it was July.
Or was it July?
I'm pretty sure Demon Slayer.
July 18th was the Japan release.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I know that.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm pretty sure July 18th was the Japan, and then I think it was September for North America. Like it, for whatever reason, we're not getting it for a while. Maybe I'm wrong in this. Maybe it is coming out like July for North America, but I know Chainsaw Man is coming out in September.
July 18th is the first one for Japan. You're right. It is in September is when it's hitting US and Canada. Because they're going to be doing the dub for that.
I remembered things.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
So we got to wait quite a while.
So we got some movies to check out. I think.
Yeah, dude.
But next week, stay tuned. Because Dan,
first episode.
Gachiakuta.
No,
Yeah.
Gachiakuta isn't next week. It's the
July
week after.
6th.
So we're gonna check out Gachiakuta.
July 6th.
What day is July 6th?
Saturday.
Oh, right.
So we're gonna check out Gachiakuta because it's a brand new anime.
I won't be here. That's what it was.
Whatever.
Who cares about you?
But we will still check it out. We will give it a try because we are gonna 100% pick up Kaiji number 8 when it drops.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we are. And we're going to give Gachiakuta a try. And you guys are going to get to look forward to that.
Yeah.
But,
Kaiju number 8's July 19th. So we have 3 weeks to try out. 2 weeks.
We'll see what we carry on with. We might touch on Gachiakuta here and there. We might not do a full thing on it. We'll see how we're feeling.
We'll still watch it.
But we'll still watch it.
We won't buy.
Maybe we'll give you guys small updates. But thank you guys for watching this episode of the PodSack Podcast. If you made it this far, we love you, Sack Squad.
Yes.
This was a light episode. We're very sorry, but stay tuned next week.
I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry.
got
There's no
a lot
anime.
more. We got a
Fuck
lot
off.
more coming.
It is what it is.
Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Leave us your questions for us.
And your viewership really is what matters to us the most.
Share.
So thank you for that.
Thank you. We appreciate you so much.
We
love
guys.
you.
Peace.
Peace.